Hey guys, I am coming to you via video since I am not in school today. I'm out helping my dad. And so I wanted to talk to you a little bit about how we're going to do our game unit. So we've been playing games. I know you've gotten tons and tons of ideas. I'm really excited to see them. So this year, our game unit is going to look a little different. So this year we're going to do, you can choose between a board game, a card game, or a puzzle or strategy game. So those are your choices. So we're not going to do physical games this year where people are up moving around and that kind of thing. It just turned into a little bit of a chaos last year. So we're going to make sure that whatever game you design, people need to be able to sit down and play it. So you can do those. Another difference this year based on your feedback from last year was you wanted the option of not having to have a partner if you wanted to do your own idea. So this year, please do not start talking to your neighbors. You will have the option of working by yourself, working with a partner, or working with a trio of 3 people. But the thing I want you to consider, again, please stop talking with each other. You will have time to do that in a minute. But the thing I want you to consider is 3 people can't take 1 game home. And so if you know that you have an idea or you really want to take the game home at the end, maybe working by yourself or with one other person that doesn't really want the game might be better. So think about that in your own brain for now, and then you can discuss it with your friends here in just a little bit, but hold on to that thought. The other thing we talked about in doing in doing more people being able to do games is that means the same amount of materials have to go further, right? And so we have to have a budget this year. So we have a budget, which means you have a budget, you go to the store, that means that's the amount of money that you can spend and you can't go over it. So you're gonna have $20 to spend on your game. And this list tells you exactly what materials are available and how much they cost, okay? So I'm gonna go through these things with you, most of them, and kind of tell you about them. I did get some really cool materials this year, so I'm really excited about those and to share with you about those. But this year, we have just poster board. This is the size. Miss Jordan can also show you in person, but this is the size. I did not do the foam board. I loved the foam board idea, but it was hard to draw on, wasn't it? So this year, we're just gonna go with poster board. You have the matte side that's easy to draw on, and you have the glossy side. So you get to pick which side you wanna do, and then regular markers work just fine on this. So that's gonna be an improvement over last year. So the poster board, if you're doing a board game, this is your poster board. It is gonna cost $5. All right, then we also have cardstock. So if you want just a colorful piece of cardstock, you can buy that. It is gonna be $1 for just a small square, 1/4 of a piece of paper. So a little bit bigger than an index card, but it's lots of different colors. So if you need to make tokens or game pieces or different things, you wanna build a bridge, cardstock would maybe be a good option for you on that. The next thing on the list is index cards. So you will get a set of 5 index cards for $1. So you get 5 cards, and of course you can cut these or do whatever you need to with them. 5 for $1. This year I bought us some really fun dice. So we have the white dice, which has the rounded edges, and so it rolls really nice. This you can only use permanent marker on, so there's not a ton of options for colors in that. And then this is a little bit bigger. It doesn't have the rounded corners, but you can use any marker or pen on this, and it's a little bit wider space. So like if you wanted to use symbols for your game or different things like that, you wanted to write words on it instead of just numbers or whatever, you could use this one, the wooden one. Now, dice are $2 a piece, but there's also a spinner. How many sides does a dice have? You're right, 6. So a spinner can be broken down into more than 6. So if you need more or less than 6, maybe a spinner would be a good idea. I've seen several groups go ahead and put the spinner on their game board, so it's even attached to their game board. So a spinner is also an option where you can spin to get, maybe it's a challenge, or maybe it's their number of spaces they get to move, or whatever. Maybe it's a bonus, whatever you want to do. But spinners are also $2, and it's 2 pieces. You put the paper between the 2 pieces. And when I get back, I'll show you how to do it. All right, so the next thing I bought special for us was game pieces. So last year we used clips and you created your own game pieces, and I don't have any clips anymore, but you are welcome to use any of the materials to make your game pieces, but I did buy these. So these are available for $2 a piece if you want to buy game tokens. Okay, we've talked about that. I have stickers. Stickers are gonna be 3 for $1, and there's lots of different types of stickers, so you can look through that. Those might be good for challenges or special squares, or maybe even characters in some way. Whatever you want to use the stickers for, decorations, however. Pom-poms are going to be 2 for $1. Feathers, also 2 for $1. Foam shapes, so Miss Jordan can show you the foam shapes, but they're the same ones we used last year. They're the foam, and they have hearts and squares and circles and stars and all the different colors, and they are stickers. You don't have to use them as stickers. I know a lot of you last year used them as tokens and different things, so you don't have to use them as stickers, but they are stickers. Those are going to be 4 for $1. We have yarn and string. So if you would like some yarn or string, it's going to be 12 inches. What do we use that's exactly 12 inches? A ruler. That's exactly right. So if you imagine the length of a ruler, that's 12 inches. So that would be the length of string you would get for $2. Tin foil, you get like a little square of tin foil for $1. Streamers, you get 12 inches of streamer for $1, and there's lots of different colors. Miss Jordan can show you all the different colors. We used the streamer last year with our floats, so maybe think back about that. We have pipe cleaners. Those are $1 each. We have straws, also $1 each. I have long, colorful straws, and then we have the little tiny straws that we use for the Olympic unit. So both of those are available. Straws are also $1 each. We have craft sticks. So I have the big fat popsicle sticks. I have the regular popsicle sticks, the long skinny sticks that we used for our Olympic unit. I have those, and I have toothpicks. So any of those you can choose. It's going to be 5 for $3. Styrofoam, I have the little styrofoam balls. So we have a tiny one that is $1, the medium one is $2, and then the big one is $3. So styrofoam balls. And then we have coffee filters. I have white out on the table, but I also have brown. So if you're like, I really need a brown for what I'm doing, you can just ask for brown. But coffee filters are $1. Tape, I have regular tape, I have masking tape. Any kind of tape that you need is going to be 6 inches. So how much of a ruler is 6 inches? Half, right? So half of a ruler. I also bought these fun tapes. So these are called washi tapes, and I have bigger ones and skinny ones, and there's all different colors. And so Miss Jordan can show you the different colors, but if you want tape to decorate your board or to do certain things with, it's going to be the same price as if you just bought regular tape. So it's 6 inches for $2. And then recycled cardboard. Let's say you want to make a spinner, but you don't want your spinner on your game board. So you want just a piece of cardboard from like a box. That's going to be $1 for recycled cardboard. And it's not a specific size. It's just, hey, does this work for you kind of thing. So that is that. The things that are free. Okay, so you get lots of things that are free. The scrap bucket, everything in that is free. And so think about if you use something and you're like, oh, there's a decent amount of this left, I could put it in the scrap bucket and let somebody else use it. So look through the scrap bucket and see if what you need is in there, especially if you just need a little small piece of something. There's lots of papers and construction paper. There's some cardstock. There's some foam. I saw some pieces of pipe cleaners. So if you don't need a whole pipe cleaner, but you need a piece of one, there's some of those were in there. I don't know if they're still there, but they were in there. Pieces of the styrofoam balls were also in there. Pieces of popsicle sticks. So it's not the whole stick, but if you only need a part of one for something, that was in there unless it got taken. So lots and lots of options in that. Here's the deal about the scrap bin. You are welcome to use it. Everything in the scrap bin is free. However, if you leave it a mess after getting what you need or looking through it, then you will lose your privileges to the scrap bin. Okay, so I need you to make sure that before you walk away, you clean it all up so that it's ready for the next person and it's not overflowing and mess and falling on the floor. Okay, so make sure you clean it up before you walk away, but everything in that is free. The other things that are free are our regular materials. Paper, whether it's plain paper or lined paper, if you need that for your project, that's free. Scissor use is free. Pencils, erasers, rulers, markers, glue stick, liquid glue, all of that stuff is free for you to use to decorate and do your project. I will say, like, make sure you're using a pencil first. Marker cannot be erased. So maybe think about that as you're making your plan. We're not going to buy any supplies today. We are just going to make a plan and start thinking about what supplies we want to buy. So here's the deal with the supplies. This is going to be a little different than we have in the past, but I hopefully it'll help us kind of focus in. So this week you will get your plan sheet. You will get to decide who you're working with, how you want to do it, what you want to do, and start coming up with your ideas. You're going to take some time to look over these supplies and materials and say, hey, these are the things I think I need. If there is something not on the list that you're like, oh, I really need this thing. Like, I really need cotton balls, not pom-poms. Or I really need paper clips. Or I really need fill in the blank. If you know it's something that we have available in the classroom and it's a supply that we use to build things with, not a supply I use for lessons. So we're thinking craft materials kind of thing. If you know it's something I have or that you need, just come talk to me. Think about it. Like, hey, Miss Lewis, can I buy 4 paper clips for $1? Or what have you, right? So think through those things and see, like, okay, what would be a fair price? What would I be willing to pay in order to get this material? So I had somebody come to me yesterday and say, I need some bottle caps. They're not on the list. Can I buy some? And so we negotiated a price and they got their bottle caps. So I am really excited to see what you plan and what you create. It's going to be amazing. But what I want to tell you is when we start buying materials, you're not going to buy everything right at the front, okay? You're just going to buy what you need for that moment. So when you come in, I want you're going to take a couple of minutes, look back over your plan and start thinking about, what do I need today to start, right? And then you would come to me and you would buy the thing that you needed for that day. And then as you get going, then is when you would buy the other materials. So maybe you're going to buy some decorative tape or some popsicle sticks or some pipe cleaners to make really cool things on your game. And then lastly, you would probably buy your dice and your pawns and things like that. But I don't want you to buy everything and then get some different ideas and be like, oh, I don't have what I need and I've spent all my money. There are no refunds or exchanges in the store. So once you buy it, it's yours. We're not going to waste it, but you could trade. So like, let's say you bought 3 pawns and you're like, oh, I really need a dice. I forgot to buy a dice. So you can't trade this back to the store, but you could go to another team and say, hey, do you have an extra dice I could have, or could you buy me a dice and I'll give you a pawn, kind of thing. So you could make trades, but I really want you to think about what you're buying before you're buying it so that you don't spend your money in a way that's not beneficial to you. So we're gonna shorten the amount of time this store is open so that we can really focus on the production of the game. And then the other thing I wanted to share is when you buy a set of something, so like you buy a set of playing cards. Oh, I don't even know if I showed you these. I don't think I did. So these are the playing cards I have available. There's you get 5 in a set, and they are like regular playing cards. So they're glossy, they're nice and sturdy, they're not gonna bleed through. So if you're doing a card game, these are amazing. I bought a whole box of these. So that might be a good thing. So it's 5 for $3 on these. And they are super nice. You can only use the permanent marker on these. So kind of keep that in mind. But they're super great. I'm really excited about them. But let's say you wanted to do a card game and you really wanted it to be nice. What could you do to these so that you got more for your money? What's something you could do? You could cut them in half. Another idea was make them reversible, right? So there are things you can do to kind of use your budget wisely and increase the amount you have for what you can pay. So if you're buying a set, like it's 5 popsicle sticks or 5 craft sticks for $3 or what have you, you can't break up the set. So just like when we go to the grocery store, like let's say we're buying a pack of sodas, you have to buy the whole pack, right? You can't just take 3 sodas out and be like, I don't want 12 sodas, I just want 3. So it's sold as a set. So kind of keep that in mind. But that's not to say if you bought 5 index cards and you're like, I only need 3 of them, you could trade 2 with another team and say, hey, do you have something you're not going to use? Would you like some index cards, right? Or you could just think, okay, what else could we do with these index cards? And just kind of be creative in that way. So there's no returns or exchanges. You can trade with each other, and sets cannot be broken up. Okay, so kind of keep that in mind as you're thinking about your materials and your plan. The other thing I wanted to share with you is the flew out of my brain. Well, I think it's gone. Anyways, if I think about it, I'll tell you later. But today you are not, oh, that's what it was. Flash sales. Does anybody know what a flash sale is? So let's think about the word flash. So flash means quick. And so quick, and then sale means it's not the same price, it's a better price, right? So I will be doing flash sales on materials. So I might say spinners are now $1 if you would like a spinner. Or you get 2 straws for $1. Or instead of the blank playing cards being 5 for $3, it's 5 for $2. Okay, so all the flash sales are going to be a benefit to your budget. That means you're going to save money. So that could be another reason why you want to wait a little bit until you really need the material, because it might go on sale. All right, so kind of keep that in mind as you are thinking about what you're going to buy when you're going to buy it. Again, we're not buying anything today. I just want to kind of give you all this information preemptively so that when we do start buying, you have everything you need. And we can talk about this again when I'm back. So that is pretty much the gist. Here's what you're going to do today. You are going to first, without talking right now, please make sure you're listening. You're going to decide if you want to work solo, with a partner, or with a little team. So maximum 3 people. But just remember, it's one game, one person can take it. And then you are going to decide like the name of your game, put your created by, put your names on the paper. What kind of game are you making? Are you making a board game, a card game, or a puzzle or strategy game? The next thing you're going to pick is your theme. Games are more fun when they're based around a theme. Space adventure, pirate treasure hunt, magical wizards, jungle safari, medieval castle quest, unicorn magic. Those are just to get your ideas flowing. You do not have to use these ideas. There's a spot for other. So if you want to do something completely different, that is fine as long as it's, school appropriate. What is the objective of the game? So this is basically saying like, what's the goal of the game? How do I win? And then you're going to think about the rules. List the important rules of your game. How do players start? How do they take turns? And how do they win? Okay. Are there any special circumstances in your game? Like if you land on the brown square, you have to do this. Or if you land on the pink square, this is what happens. Okay. So that's where you're going to put all those rules and uniquenesses to your game. This is where you're going to draw a little picture. So if you're doing a board game, I want to see what the board looks like. If you're doing a card game, you're going to split this up into the different types of cards. So if we're talking about the types of cards in Uno, what kind of different cards do we have in Uno? We have number cards, we have skip, we have reverse, we have wild, we have draw 4, draw 2s. So all those different kinds of cards that you have in your game, I want you to draw me just one little sample of what those different types of cards are and what they'll look like. So you can split that up into smaller sections so that you can draw the different cards. And then on the back, I want you, I know it didn't print it right, but I want you to think about a power up and a challenge. So under your budget sheet, you can just write down here like, or it could be on the front side down here, like in Chutes and Ladders, we have power ups and we have challenges. So when we get to the bottom of a ladder, it is a power up. When we get to the top of a slide or a chute, we have a challenge. It takes us backwards. So how can you add in some like power-ups and some challenges to your game? So you can put that either in this section or you can just write your ideas on the back in the blank section, either way. And then I want you to think about what materials you think you're gonna use for your game. Like really think through, what do I need in order to make my game the best game I can do? So we're just planning today. So what you're gonna do, I'm super close to being finished. You are going to listen carefully, 3 things. 1, you're gonna decide the people you're working with. Is it me, myself? Is it a partner? Is it a trio? You're gonna get a pencil and then you're gonna go see Miss Jordan for your paper. Now here's the deal. I am allowing you to pick your teams, but if you don't make a good choice, you will have to change next week. So I want you to really think about who you're deciding to work with and how you're gonna get along and if you're gonna be on task. So if I come in next week and you have picked somebody that we all know is not the best choice for you, you're not going to be in that partnership, and you're going to have to just work by yourself because everybody else has already planned and started. So think about it today and really make a good decision. If you think there might be a question about, oh, I don't know if Miss Lewis will say yes to this partnership, maybe ask a friend and say, hey, do you think Miss Lewis would say yes to me and so working together? And if they say no, then pick somebody different, just so you don't have to redo next week. So keep that in mind, but you are going to get person, pencil, and paper and get started. Happy planning. I can't wait to see what you come up with.